Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a rainy day in Pittsburgh, and I thank you all for joining us today. We're gathered here to address an urgent issue impacting our city, our families, and our future. Today, we stand together in solidarity, united by the belief that housing is a basic human right and that no one should be left behind, especially when it comes to the place they call home. Under the Trump administration, the fight for affordable housing has become a battle. The current administration, alongside HUD Secretary Scott Turner, is proposing a radical restructuring of government that threatens to strip away vital housing protections. These changes, if enacted, could put thousands of Pittsburgh's most vulnerable residents at risk of displacement, instability, and insecurity. We are standing here today to make our voices heard and to call for change. To kick things off, it is my great honor to introduce a fierce advocate for the people of Pittsburgh, a tireless champion for social justice, and a true leader in our fight for housing protections, Congresswoman Summer Lee.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you all so much, and good morning. It's important that we're here today because I want to say that, we say the refrain over and over and over again that housing is a human right, not a luxury, and right now we are in the fight for our lives to protect that right. I want to thank Mayor Ed Gainey. He has been a staunch supporter of housing, of the right to ensure that every person in the city of Pittsburgh has a home that is affordable, has a home that is appropriate, and that is in the communities that they know and love. I want to thank our advocates and our local leaders who have been leading us along this pathways and for joining us in this fight to make Pittsburgh home for all and keep it that way. Let's get into it. Our corrupt president and his billionaire handlers are once again turning their backs on the American people. For the past few weeks, we've been hearing alarming reports that the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, is planning to close the Pittsburgh field office and all 33 offices in the country. They plan to slash staff by 50% and eliminate critical funding for affordable housing maintenance. Mind you, my office has been in close contact with the Pittsburgh field office for months to address life-threatening conditions and federally assisted properties in PA 12, like Montview Heights, like Homewood House, and so many other. These are real people in need of real supports living in real terrible conditions. Housing is, again, a human right, plain and simple, but this administration is trying to absolve its responsibility of caring for the American people. It's like they're looking for the quickest ways to enact the cruelest policies. And right now, they're planning to gut the very programs meant to keep our communities stable, safe, and affordable. If HUD closes the Pittsburgh field office, they will make it easier for corporate landlords to exploit renters while forcing working class families into impossible situations. If HUD pulls out, it's our communities, our seniors, our children, our neighbors with disabilities who will pay the price. Folks will face evictions. They'll continue living in unsafe living conditions that go unaddressed. Skyrocketing housing costs will be the norm, and we cannot and will not let that happen. Today, we're demanding transparency, accountability, and action from HUD before decisions are made that will devastate our communities. We've already seen the administration mistakenly fire and frantically attempt to rehire people from across other agencies because, to be clear, they don't even understand the impacts of the actions that they're taking. So we're here to help them to understand this one before they cross a line that we can't come back over. Before that happens again, we need the administration to clearly understand the harms that will be caused by taking resources from our communities. And let's be clear, this isn't just, I know it's called housing and urban development, but housing is an issue, is a concern in urban and rural communities, and suburban and exurban communities, and blue and red and purple ones, all across this country. This is not a Democrat versus a Republican problem. Housing is a problem for each and every one of us, and we all should be in the business of ensuring that housing is preserved and persists for all people. That's why earlier this morning, I sent a letter with my Pennsylvania Democratic congressional colleagues to the HUD Secretary on this very issue. If reports are true, the agency must reverse course immediately and maintain local HUD presence in Pittsburgh and across the country. So it's not just the folks gathered here who care. It's not even just the city of Pittsburgh, right? We talked about how this is a regional issue. To frame it, right? The Pittsburgh field office oversees 34 housing authorities across 29 counties. That's $413 million in housing assistance that thousands of families rely on. That's safe and stable housing for more than 44,000 low-income households. So we're not going to wait around for Trump, and while Trump and his billionaire handlers look for ways to serve developers and investors, and not the people who actually live in these homes. We need every elected, every resident, every advocate to hold HUD accountable and amplify this fight right now. Western Pennsylvania must not, will not sit by idly while billionaires sell off our communities to the highest bidder. Western Pennsylvania doesn't belong to the corporate interest and absentee landlords or the billionaires trying to call the shots from the White House. Western Pennsylvania belongs to the people who built it and who live in it, and the people will fight back. I thank you so much, and I'm going to hand it back over to Sister Olga.
Thank you, Congresswoman Summer Lee. Now it is my pleasure to introduce a leader who has dedicated his career to serving the people of Pittsburgh, someone who understands that safe and affordable housing is a cornerstone of a thriving city, the Honorable Mayor Ed Gainey.
Channel 11, I'm sorry, I bumped it. Somebody with Channel 11 wanting eye. Good morning. First, I want to be clear that housing is a human right. And you've heard me say it over and over. And let's be clear, any rollback of HUD's role is an attack on our people. We know that. It's an attack on our people who are already struggling with housing affordability right now. We know in our city right now, people are having a difficult time paying their rent. Any rollback would be an abuse to our people here in the city. While we're working on addressing this crisis here at home, the White House is considering dangerous cuts, including reducing HUD staff, which would be a major mistake, cutting funding, which would be critical to the services we provide, and potentially closing the Pittsburgh HUD field office, which we just can't afford. The Trump administration is discussing, listen, they're discussing halting $1 billion in funding. That's too much. $1 billion in funding for affordable housing from reaching us. This is the money that has been set aside to preserve and upgrade our units. Taking that from us would have a damaging effect to our ability to be able to fix apartments, to be able to serve our community. We can't afford to continue to allow them to roll back the type of initiatives that hurt people. They are proposing to eliminate 50% of HUD staff, which would cripple HUD's ability to deliver critical programs, including rental assistance. We know how important rental assistance is. We know how many people rely on rental assistance. Look at our friends and neighbors that need rental assistance. Fair housing enforcement. We know what happened in these hills. We know why we need fair housing enforcement. We understand that. We wouldn't be able to replace heating units, leaky roofs, insulate homes, and provide flood in buildings. This is an assault on people, the people we love and care about. I don't see how no leader could want to do this type of cuts that would damage people and call that safe. I can't understand it. On top of all that, HUD is eliminating important policies that combat housing discrimination. We can't afford for our black, brown, and low-income families to be discriminated against. That's why we put these laws in place. We can't roll that back and say that we're going forward. Housing discrimination is not going to help our people be able to afford or get in the homes that they need right now. There will be less money to upgrade our affordable housing and making our public housing more resilient. There will be less federal workers to help run critical HUD programs that we need that provide us with rental subsidies. That's important. Rental subsidies are real important. Help us with disaster recovery efforts, launch housing discrimination complaints, investigations, and assist in first-time home buyers. You know, in the city, through our own PGH, we took 150 low-income renters and made them homeowners. These are the type of programs we need. And let me be clear. If these rollbacks move forward, do you know who will benefit from the cuts from HUD? Wealthy developers who will continue to take federal subsidies while neglecting repairs. We've seen that all over the city, how they don't mind taking the money, but they don't want to put no repairs in these buildings. And we know that's just wrong. Slumlords who refuse to fix leaking roofs, broken heating, mold infestation, and have the free will without enforcement. If we don't have these laws in place, who's going to look over it? If we roll these right now, we're talking about people right now who need all the help that they can get. We don't have the time to roll back anything. We don't need to roll back the time. We need the time to go forward and make sure that we have the right investments in place so that the people of our city will have the necessary enforcement they need to ensure that HUD, these slum landlords, these wealthy developers will listen to what we say. Landlords who discriminate against black and brown and low-income communities. President Trump's administration is trying to dismantle HUD while pushing corporate interests over people. We just can't afford it. We can't afford to go back. And as we talk about it right now, if there's a closure to the HUD office, if we close the HUD field office, if that becomes a reality, Trump's administration eliminates the watchdog that watches over our people. We'll eliminate the watchdog that watches over our people. I need y'all to hear that. Without federal enforcement, housing will become even more unstable for renters and homeowners, weakening federal oversight and international policy choice, one that hands even more power to corporate landlords, more power to developers looking to profit from displacement, not replacement of units, to give our people affordability to have somewhere to stay. Streamlining government means improving services, not gutting them. We must hold the federal administration accountable, work with Congresswoman Summer Lee to ensure there's no rollback, but there's a roll forward to making sure that our family and friends are okay. This is a call to action. We the people got to stand up to the power that be. If we don't stand up, I heard my Congresswoman say yesterday, our people don't have the money to pay big lobbyists. We don't have that. But what we do have is the power of the people. What we do have, each and every one of us, is the responsibility and accountability to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. We cannot allow anything to happen to the cutback and the rollback that HUD wants to do. This is my call to action for everybody in this city to say hell no to these cuts and to make sure that we're doing what's right by the people of this city. It's going to take all of us. And if we all band together, then we can really demonstrate when we say it's always the people over power. At a time like this, when we need to make sure that we have more affordable housing, public housing for everybody, let's just make sure we do one thing. Let's fight the fight and let's go get it.
Thank you, Mayor Gainey. Now, we're fortunate to have someone with us whose work directly impacts the lives of those who are fighting for housing stability every day. Jayla Rucker, a dedicated housing advocate, is here to share her insights and experiences with us. Let's hear from Jayla.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Jayla Rucker, and I am a tenant advocate. I also want everyone here to know that I'm a single mother of 5, and I've depended on low-income housing to be able to help me support my family and so that we can thrive throughout our days of time. I'm here today because we cannot afford to wait for a crisis to erupt. We heard disturbing reports from inside HUD that oversight is being intentionally weakened, making it hard to hold landlords accountable and ensure that tenants have safe and stable housing. We don't know how far these cuts will go, but we know the risk and we're preparing to fight back. Pittsburgh renters deserve answers now, not after slumlords have already taken advantage of this power vacuum. We know that these discussions became decisions. Our vulnerable communities will suffer the most. The most impacted will be public housing residents who already live with delays for basic repairs, mold, broken heat, unsafe wiring. Without HUD oversights, landlord will have even less incentives to fix these issues. Families on Section 8 rental assistance who depend on HUD to approve and process vouchers. Longer delays mean more families stuck in limbo at risk of homelessness. Low-income workers who rent in private markets. HUD cuts will make it harder to enforce fair housing laws, prevent illegal evictions, ensure landlords aren't overcharging tenants in subsidized units. We will not let this happen in silence. Tenants deserve to know if their rights are being stripped away. Local governments need to know if they're about to be saddled with responsibilities that they don't have the resources to manage. We will fight to make sure Pittsburgh remains a city where renters have power and not just wealthy investors.
Thank you, Ms. Rucker. Sir, I'm going to give you the opportunity to give one final word, or you did your final word.
What's your house bill number? Go ahead. You go first.
We don't need a final word.
Okay,
Everybody-
all right, all right.
We said what we said.
We said what we said. We stand by what we said. I'll take questions from the media at this time. Any questions? Yeah, yes. Have they made any alternative plans?
If this does go through, what will the other clinic be for HUD? Is there going to be a hotline?
So again, these are, to be very clear, we're hearing about these from people who are on the inside of HUD who are reporting back out to us, right, at great risk, as they're watching federal workers from across agencies and departments be fired. So they lifted this up to us precisely because from as far as we know, there are no good plans. And that's not just for HUD. We're not seeing good alternative plans for dismantling the Department of Education. We're not seeing alternative plans for cutting NIH funding. We're not seeing alternative plans for cuts to Medicaid or to Social Security. Instead, what we've been seeing is a haphazard and really, quite frankly, just chaotic approach to government, right? Shut down, slash, cut, slash, and then find out what hasn't worked or what they've broken afterwards. It's incredibly damaging. So right now, when we talk about the field offices that are being cut, what that would do is it would overburden the field offices that are the offices that would be left. That would be Philadelphia and Baltimore, right? So most of the resources would have to be then shift to those areas, which would then overburden them. It means that the regional issues that we have in places like Western Pennsylvania would, quite frankly, would not be at the forefront anymore, right? These would not be issues right, that are getting the attention that they need. It's the precise reason why we've had a field office in this region to care for not just Pittsburgh, of course, but this entire region. We have unique issues that come up consistently. We've been talking a lot about MB Affordable, Vitus, other private equity firms that have been availing themselves of public dollars and not doing maintenance, not maintaining the residential units that they have, but instead pocketing money. HUD has a role to play there, and where we see them running afoul in places like Western Pennsylvania, not just Western Pennsylvania, we're talking about taking away resources that would be able to help remedy those situations. So no, there's no alternative plan that I know. If we hear of one, we will let you all know, but I wouldn't trust an alternative plan that comes from this administration. I mean, he's already said that he has concepts of plans. Well, we are not in the concept of a plan phase in American society. We are in the we need action and we need answers right now.
Hold on a second. Eric from Public Source, your question? Come up. The mayor calls for action, and what exactly action that you wanted to do?
My call to action is for the people. It's for the people to reach out to their Congress people and senators to tell them that no plan is how people perish, and we can't afford for nobody to perish. We need to ensure that we're calling, and I'm not talking about call 1 or 2 times. I'm talking about call 30 to 40 times to let them know that we're serious about that they don't roll back the cuts that they want to do to HUD. You know, it's funny, we talk about their plan. They don't have a plan. They only got one means, and that's just to cut everything. But I have yet to see them talk about cutting anything from their billionaire friends. I haven't seen them talk about that one time. Seems like the only assault that I see them cutting on is the poor. You want to debunk the Department of Education. You talked about Medicaid. Now you're talking about HUD. I'm not sure how many people we want to hurt. And so I'm asking everybody that can hear my voice to call your congressperson and senator. And don't just call one time, one don't work. I'm serious when I say call 40 to 50 times. Because we got to send a message as the power of the people that cuts like this, it hurts our children. Without a steady living environment, our kids can't grow up in a structured life. Let's make sure we save everything. You can also join in with 1PA. They've done a wonderful job. The Hit Fair Housing Advocates, they've done a wonderful, tell them how to plug in.
So anyway, where you plug in at is at the Housing Justice table. You could reach out to the Housing Justice table. What we do at the Housing Justice table, we fight for housing.
It's okay.
Against cuts for fair housing, that we have people who are fighting against us. This is a MAGA agenda that people are joining, and we have to be very clear that we will not allow people to take and co-opt our voices. Right now, we are standing up against people, whatever race or gender or party, who say that we will stand down as we are fighting against HUD cuts, against Medicaid, against economic justice, and we won't stand for it. So let me say, we invite the voices of anybody who wants to join us. He can put down his megaphone and he can join us in our fight. We're not stopping him. But we do have one more question that I want to get to. What is the last question? Yeah, the money that HUD receives, I think Mayor Gainey really laid it out, right? When we're thinking about the programs that come in for people, these are the things, these are the dollars that we can't afford to lose. We're talking about fair housing, we're talking about, how about I answer your question? Oh, well, no, we answer it close to her. All right, if we have no more questions, all right. Good, thank you.
If there's a civil lawsuit that's going around where the city would consider definitely be a part of that. I just want to make sure. But let me say this though. Let's say this right here. At the end of the day, this is why we do what we do and fight for the people. Because if we don't fight for the people, then we just have people that's just screaming. But it's not about screaming. It's about making sure we're doing the work of the people. So I just want to say thank y'all. But listen, the power's in our hand. Let's just keep doing what we do.
Thank you all for coming. This is what's important in regarding to safeguard the people who needs the HUD. Thank you very much.